So, when you say the term Islamic psychology, everybody has, different people have their, a variety of conceptualizations of what that might mean. Some people think that Islamic psychology is spiritually integrated psychotherapy. So basically bringing Islamic principles or teachings into the psychotherapeutic process. And when we say psychotherapeutic process, we're usually referring to, sort of mainstream Western approaches to psychotherapy and sort of bringing Islam into the equation, whether through treatment modalities or philosophies and the like. Other times people think that Islamic psychology is, for example, the work of early Muslim scholars. So people like al-Balkhi or al-Razi, some of these classical Muslim scholars who really wrote about topics that we today call psychology or mental health. Some people think that Islamic psychology is Sufism, tasawwuf, because they argue that tasawwuf is really Islam's version of psychology, right? Because it's about purifying the self and ridding the self of unwanted inner states, unwanted behaviors, and filling it up with beautiful qualities and beautiful characters. Sometimes people think it's psychology by Muslims. Sometimes people think Islamic psychology is psychology for Muslims or psychology about Muslims. Sometimes people think it's the Islamization of psychology, whereby theological explanations are given for psychological phenomenon, although there's different definitions and understanding of what Islamization is as well. So when you talk about Islamic psychology, it's important to be mindful that there are a variety of different conceptualizations of what that means, and that, within the particular context of whatever it is that you're doing or you're talking about, that you're mindful of that, but then you might also clarify or define what you're meaning within a particular scope of work. So if you look at sort of modern psychology, psychology today is usually defined as the science of behavior and mental processes. So in terms of how that might relate to Islamic psychology, so it could be that, but it's also rooted in or underpinned by an Islamic worldview, Islamic metaphysics, Islamic philosophy, Islamic ontology, Islamic epistemology. And of course, there's not one of those things either. There's always a variety of thinking when we're talking about philosophical roots within the Islamic tradition. So it could be the science of behavior and mental processes, but part of that is understanding the philosophy behind the Islamic worldview. God exists, people have a soul, and that has to be taken into account when you're talking about building a science of psychology in a 21st century, especially in a Western context. So the Alkaram Institute was formally established in 2018. We are a 501c3 nonprofit research and educational institution dedicated to advancing Islamic psychology to benefit society and improve lives. So that's kind of our mission. Our longer-term vision is to become the first Muslim graduate school of psychology in the United States. So as we work towards that much longer goal, which, that takes a lot of development in terms of, the infrastructure of the institution. That's why we say it's our longer-term project. But in the meantime, the goal is to advance various aspects of Islamic psychology. In terms of some of the projects we're working on, one project is that we have an Islamic psychology research fellowship. So what the fellowship does is this speaks specifically to our mission of advancing Islamic psychology, and that is, because we're not able to currently offer a degree program, a master's level or doctoral program in Islamic psychology, one of the ways that we're able to still continue to advance the field, despite not being able to have that particular element of it, is by supporting master's level and doctoral research So our fellows are enrolled in master's or doctoral programs at universities all over the world. Some of our fellows come from places like Harvard University, Columbia. We have international students at the International Islamic University in Pakistan. We have Hamad bin Khalifa University in Qatar. We have a student at the University of Wisconsin. So our fellows really come from a wide array of universities, both across the United States and globally. Some of them are in psychology programs. Some of them are in Islamic studies programs. But what's important is that they want to do their master's thesis or doctoral dissertation on an Islamic psychology topic. And usually the problem is that wherever they're enrolled in their home university, they don't usually have a faculty member there that has this type of expertise. So we provide that expertise, even though they stay enrolled in their own program, but we work collaboratively with them to help them, get through their research project, and then we bring that through, hopefully ending in some publication of some sort. So that is open to anybody. You can go to our website, you can get more information about that. Anybody can apply. In terms of our newest program, we have an Islamic psychology program that we are offering in partnership with George Washington University. This is the first and only Islamic psychology program in the United States. The program is a full academic year long, and it is comprised of 9 different modules. Those modules consist of first laying the philosophical foundations of what an Islamic psychology could look like in a 21st century. So they cover Islamic philosophy, metaphysics, ontology, and epistemology. We also cover Sufism. And then we also talk about some of the more applied areas of Islamic psychology. So Islamically integrated psychotherapy. We also talk about Islamic psychology and mental health, including delving into some of the most prominent issues that people deal with today, including depression, anxiety, suicide, the whole, list of mental health issues that people might deal with. The last module in the program deals with spiritually integrated research methods. So when we talk about research methods being an integral part of psychological science, we take a different approach in that we recognize and utilize the variety of research methods that are available, but we also look at and discuss what spirituality within that process brings. So looking at not spirituality from the perspective of researching it, but using spirituality as a methodology for research. So it's a totally different take on understanding what role spirituality might have in the overall research process. If anybody's interested in Islamic psychology, we invite them to come visit us, visit our website. Our mission is advancing Islamic psychology to benefit society and improve lives. We can't do that alone.